Cardano sideways, Cardano doing nothing. Bitcoin, higher highs, higher lows, approaching all-time high. Cardano down still like 88%. I just recorded this entire video, like 12 minutes long, and I just didn't like it. I didn't like how I laid this data out to you. So this video, everybody, is an exciting video because I'm going to lay the data out for you. I'm going to explain what I see happening on this chart, why I think it is incredibly normal, and why, if you look at ADA on the weekly, it is going to shock everybody once again. And I say once again because this happened last cycle. And I shouldn't say shock everybody because I know a lot of you, you see what is on these charts. So hit the subscribe, hit the like on the way in. Let's jump into it. So before we talk about this, and what I'm going to be actually doing is I'm going to be looking at last cycle at this moment, ADA charts, doing nothing. Cardano charts, breaking out, approaching all-time high. What is happening? What's happening back then? Well, we're at the very similar time frame of this cycle, and it's the same thing playing out. Before we talk about all that and I dissect that data, I know many of you might be like, all right, it's been like 2 days of this news, get over it. But this is huge for Cardano, especially as we're about to look at these charts. Bitcoin OS makes Cardano a DeFi layer for Bitcoin, a privacy layer for Bitcoin. Do you realize how big that is? Trustless bridge between Bitcoin and Cardano. Do you realize how big that is? A $1.3 trillion opportunity, all accessible using BTC as gas. Bitcoiners won't even know they're using ADA. Charles, this was, I think, meaningful. Bitcoin OS is probably the biggest news item Cardano has ever had. That's coming from Charles, the founder of Cardano. I'd say that means something if he's saying that, right? And I did a live stream earlier and I was just talking about how, we were all kind of, not we were all, but a lot of us were just like, USDC, come on, Cardano Summit, deliver USDC. Every cycle, it's nice for a crypto to have some type of nice boost into the parabolic bull cycle. USDC could be that boost. And I just want to say, Bitcoin OS and what's happening with Bitcoin and Cardano, I think is bigger than USDC. Especially USDC will probably give that like power boost, that nice, just quick, energized shot into Cardano headlines and news, and in a week it'll be over. This is different. This is fundamentally and very powerfully different than that type of news. This is long-term, fundamental, next level news for Cardano. And as Charles said, probably the biggest news item Cardano has ever had. So I really just wanted to point that out. And I just said, I hope, in a post earlier, I hope the institutions are paying attention. I don't know if they are. You would think some of them are. And only time will tell. And here we are. So what's going on? People will be like, and I have seen comments, well, ADA, big news, but ADA price not doing anything. ADA big fail. Let's talk about this. Before we even come to this zoomed out chart, which I spent a lot of time on, I want to talk about some things on it, but really it's the zoomed in that I want to discuss. You see zoomed in, ADA sideways, 88% down, not breaking out. But check this out, everybody. Let me start with just saying something. The bull market doors. Bull market doors for Bitcoin. It's a bull market high to bear market low, if you don't know. It's the retracement to this green area. That's the bull market doors. This is what over the years I've defined it as. A very big indicator for me personally in terms of really helping navigate through bull markets and get ready for bull markets. So that green rectangle was broken pre-Bitcoin halving. There's a reason I'm explaining this, by the way. Last cycle, bull market high of 2017, bear market low 2018, right back into the bull market doors. Last cycle, this move happened post-Bitcoin halving. This move happened right around where we are now this cycle. And you can see here's Bitcoin halving, here is altcoin season beginning, and this cycle, here's Bitcoin halving, and speculatively, here's altcoin season beginning in December. Now, here's where we're going to start zooming in. Okay, Bitcoin at this moment last cycle was basically doing what it's doing now, breaking out, approaching all-time highs. And if we zoom in on the charts, at that moment, end of October into November, what was ADA doing? Well, here's what ADA was doing. Here's October. Here we enter November, doing nothing. So Bitcoin's going crazy, ADA doing nothing. Does that look familiar? Does that chart look familiar? This is now ADA doing nothing, Bitcoin approaching all-time highs, going crazy. Now, if you look at this, it might be like, all right, well, the whole bull market door thing looks a little different. And I just want to say something. In terms of what Bitcoin is doing, this was a first, breaking these bull market doors before the Bitcoin halving. It retraced to the doors and right now is in the process of escaping at this moment. So I'm really, this is what I've been doing, comparing the move, the escape from the bull market doors, that green Fibonacci. I'm comparing that to Bitcoin last cycle at this moment, breaking the Fibonacci and escaping. So I just want to mention that. But if we go back to the charts now, here's Bitcoin on the daily. So just look at this, end of October, look at it, pumping into November, pumping, and just, if you zoom out, approaching all-time high. And then all the while, ADA, nothing, right? But it was this move in November, towards the end of November, it was this move. What is that move? Let's go to the weekly. Here's ADA on the weekly, and here's the move. 20-week moving average broken. ADA made a power move out of nowhere. And then I want to keep this in mind for around a month, big choppy waters, big dips, volatility. It didn't break out like crazy right away, but it did break the 20-week and then for around a month traded above it. That's key. Well, look where we are, everybody. And this is partly why, I don't know if you saw on X, my 50 cent by the end of October, I was very much just like, I know there's a strong possibility this doesn't happen, but I said it because it was in play. It was very simply in play. You can't even argue with it if you understand this data. If you look at this data and just look at this, 42 days until this purple line. Well, 42 days from this purple line last cycle, ADA was pretty much breaking out above that 20 weeks. So that move is like, it's due. And this does not have to be down to the day, down to the week, but the move is due. And you look at the consolidation on the weekly chart and you see all of this bullish stuff coming together. You see bullish indicators coming together. And I'm talking about this higher low on the slower moving momentum oscillator, the RSI. Well, look what it was doing last cycle before that breakout. Higher low on the RSI while it's sideways and choppy below the 20-week. We're getting a similar thing happening. We have the MACD blue line crossing the signal line at the red signal line at the bottom of the screen. And it's just the bullish momentum for Cardano is there. But I'm telling you, right now we also have this bullish, very bullish narrative in play that we can kind of sprinkle onto these charts now. And I don't know. Again, I follow the data. I've been tracking these cycles. I've been tracking this data since 2018. So, and I'm talking more specifically about Bitcoin and Bitcoin cycles. The charts have been so consistent. And if you look at ADA now being down around 88%, well, this time last cycle, it was also down around 90%, right? And even if you take it to the swing high of that breakout, right? Down 86%. But look what's getting ready to happen for ADA. So I really do think we're getting ready for a similar setup for ADA. And I just wanted to present that to you in a little bit of a different way by zooming in on the daily chart back then and really just looking at the similarities between back then and right now on this ADA chart, as well as the BTC charts. And at the end of the day, everybody, there's no guarantee that this will repeat. But isn't it a good idea? I mean, wouldn't you say it's a good idea to be prepared for it? We're prepared either way. If it doesn't repeat, have to be prepared for that. But isn't it a good idea to prepare for this right now? I mean, I think it is. Those are just my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, everybody. Hit the subscribe, hit the like. I appreciate you cruising through. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.